Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. This is going to be a serious video. I want to go over some key points, some things, sort of a pre-preparedness checklist. It doesn't matter whether it's a natural event or it's a civil event or some type of global event. There's some things that I think people should check if they know things aren't looking very good. And I want to go over these real quick with you guys and just make some points. The one thing is fuel. Fuel is extremely important. You need it for transportation. You need it for getting back and forth. You need it for cooking. You need it for boiling water. You need it for heat. There's a lot of different reasons why you need fuel. And fuel is not only for vehicles, it's also for means to generate electricity. And this goes into the second thing. If you're fortunate enough to have a generator, please check that generator out. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are, whether it's a civil event, a national emergency, it's some type of natural event. Generators can help. They can sort of ease the transition. They can give you some, they can buy you several more days without your food spoiling. They can protect you against the shelter. They can provide light and security. So if you happen to have a generator, make sure that you go over that, make sure that it's running, make sure that it's good to go. I have fuel here. I also have spark plugs here. I have the general maintenance stuff here. This goes into other power equipment. ATVs is one that I haven't really talked about much. I do have an ATV here. I don't use it a lot because I kind of leave it for emergencies. It's an older one. It's pretty much obsolete, but I constantly keep a trickle charger on it, and I have the ability to start that guy. I rotate the gas in it, and if for some reason I can't get through with my pickup truck or our other vehicle, I can use my ATV, and I have used ATVs already when there were storms around here to maneuver around down trees and that kind of stuff. But I always keep that ATV on a trickle charger because ATV batteries are notoriously bad for dying when you need them. So I keep that guy going in that matter. And the same thing goes for chainsaws. Chainsaws are extremely popular. I've been on the chainsaw kick lately here. They're popular. A lot of guys like them just for the coolness factor of them, but they're an extremely important piece of equipment for clearing roads, making firewood, making wood to boil water, getting people out of jams, basically. And I'm a firm believer in keeping stuff there for that as well. I keep all my my spare stuff here too. Food and water goes without saying to a certain extent. I'm not going to get on that kick, but I prefer food that I don't have to freeze, that's shelf stable. Yeah, it doesn't taste as good, but you know what? I'd rather have a plate full of canned chicken and cooked rice with a little bit of soy sauce on it than nothing at all. And that's how I want to look at that. And if you have a basic amount of cooking skills, you could put together a lot of soups and stews with just basic canned stuff with a minimal amount of heating because that stuff is already cooked and processed. I think what's happened down south shows the importance of having some type of stored water. Now, I don't have no 500-gallon tank around here. I kind of wish I did sometimes, but I keep as much water as I possibly can stored up, and I just do it in regular bottles. Bottles that I've used for other things, I wash them out, fill them up with tap water, set them in the corner. I've got filters and stuff here, so that water, I'll run it through a filter before we would actually use that for anything cooking or eating related or drinking. So, I keep water here. I keep the means to filter it. I keep the means to boil it. And then, we've got eave troughs and stuff here where we could collect water on and then filter that as well if it was absolutely necessary. The same thing, it's a good reason to have some tarps around. Tarps are and other means of protection. Those tarps can be used to collect water. Those tarps can also be used to cover up roofs, cover up holes in buildings if there would happen to be something where you would need some protection from the elements. You don't know how many people that I've seen around here who have a leak in a roof who put a tarp over it until they can get a roofer out to look at it, tack the corners down, protects your other stuff against the elements. Bad actors. There's always going to be bad actors that are trying to take advantage of the situation, whether they're nation states, whether they're scammers, whether it's cyber attacks, whether it's looters. Take your pick. If something bad happens, people are going to try to take advantage of that. And I've seen it here where there were storms, people just driving around wanting to take pictures. We had a bad storm here back in 2011, and the state police actually came in and kind of set up, I don't want to say it was a curfew, but they set up kind of a watch because people were just kind of floating in here who had no business even being here. They weren't helping repair anything. They weren't helping with the rescue efforts. They weren't, family members coming in to, bring stuff into people. They were just nosy people that really didn't have any business being here. And that is something that I really noticed when that took place. So, be cautious, be aware, have your situational awareness about you. And another thing, and this goes into the stress and it goes into medical things. Every prepping channel is going to tell you have extra medicine there and make sure you have a first aid kit. But the stress of a really bad situation is going to exacerbate medical conditions. So if you got other medical conditions and you're put through this really bad, stressful thing, that's going to make those situations worse. So you got to try to manage that stress level and disconnect yourself. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. I've had people tell me that I've had PTSD for years because, I basically took care of my parents and my aunt and my grandmother and stuff, and they all got sick and died, and I was the one that had to take care of them. I've had people tell me that I've had, different issues because of that over the years. But for me, I deal with those stressful situations by staying busy. So if I'm doing something, whether I'm splitting wood or canning something or planting a garden or helping the neighbors, or even shooting these videos here, I'm doing something. And as long as I'm doing something, that stress doesn't have a chance to kind of latch a hold of you and make your pre-existing conditions worse. And that's another thing that I really wanted to mention. Another thing is be prepared to move. Movement can facilitate your safety. So if, you got a friend or a relative that you've already got kind of a deal worked out with, you want to bounce over there to that place because your place, you don't feel as safe anymore. You want to be ready to do that. You want to be ready to move. You want to have those people in place. Simple things like backing your vehicle in so you don't have to back up and turn around to get out of your place. Simple things. Sometimes those seconds can make a big, big difference. Cash is another thing. There's a huge debate in the preparedness community about, cash and precious metals and, cryptocurrencies and all that other stuff. As a general rule, cash will help you out in the short term. All that other stuff can be debated after the fact, but if the situation is right now, you got to get out of Dodge. You got to get a hotel room for a night. You got to put yourself up. You got to reestablish yourself for a couple of weeks. Some other place, cash helps. When the electricity's out, when the satellite links are down, debit cards don't work. And you know what? Even if the stores fire back up again and they get running, they're probably not going to take gold and silver. There might be some small mom and pop shops that might do that. But as a general rule, you're going to have some means of exchange. And right now, cash is it. And I've always said that cash is a prep. If you lose everything and all your material stuff is gone, but you still have a bag of cash with you, you still have some means that you can go ahead and kind of start rebuilding and starting to figure stuff out. But these are some of the basic things that I want people to look at. Things aren't getting any better. We've got all the storm damage now. We got another hurricane coming in. We got potential disruptions in a lot of different stuff. And then that's just in the short term, but then the long-term ramifications of everything that's going on. There's all kinds of political unrest here in this country because of the elections coming up. There's all kinds of geopolitical stuff that's going on. There's a bunch of people around the world that, don't like us. And we're just average preppers. We're just average people here in North America trying to, do what we got to do. Just average people around the world, North America, Europe, wherever. I'm always for the average person, because you know what? I think everything that's happened here in the last few days especially shows that it's people helping people is what's going to get us through bad times. It's not going to be any organizations. It's not going to be any entities. It's not going to be any governmental, groups, whatever. It's going to be neighbors helping neighbors, communities helping communities. That's what's going to get people through these times, and that's what I want to project here today, and have you guys go over this kind of brief list here. Take what you need from this video here. If it gives you some ideas, some things to look into, I hope it helps everybody out there in the prepper sphere. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got something to think about, as always, out of this video again. And please stay situationally aware. Keep an eye on things. Keep an eye on your neighbors. Keep an eye on your friends and family. Work on your small circle, and do the best you can in these times, because that's all that we can do. Prayers to everyone.